Welcome, welcome, boys. Don't mind the wind noise, but it's another 90-degree day with about 90% humidity. And boy, doesn't feel like dying of a heat stroke. So in this video, we will be replacing the engine oil in our 2003 Lincoln Town car. I already did a video on the oil change procedure for the Crown Vic. This one will be quite similar, but we haven't actually done one on this particular vehicle, so we're doing it today, boys. First order of business, we already have this cap loose and off. It says 520. That's not what I'm going to be putting in it. But if you want maximum fuel economy, that's what you use. In addition to that, I already have the car lifted. I jacked it up from the center support in the middle. And then I have my jack stands on either side. And yes, these are the Harbor Freight crush you and kill you ones that I never bothered switching out. But that's okay, we still have the jack in place there, so if they fail, I shouldn't die. The jack should hold it up. We already have the drain pan underneath, and there are 5 quarts of oil we need to get out and then replace. So I'll show you under the car what we're messing with. Okay, boys, 16 millimeter on here is what we need. When you put it back on, it gets tightened to 15 foot-pounds. I'm going to use this pipe on this ratchet for a little extra leverage. I'm sure whoever changes last torques this thing on, but good. Yep, they always do. Damn it. I don't know why people put fucking drain plugs on so tight. Jesus Christ almighty. Alright, well that broke free. I'm going to catch our 5 quarts into 7 quart pan, so we should have plenty to spare. And yes, this thing did just come back from the grocery store, so the oil is a little warm. I have let it cool a little since, so oil's not scalding hot. Just a little warm still, and that's where you want it to be for maximum flow. So we'll let this do its thing, and we'll come back with the oil filter. Okay, we're pretty much at a little dribble, and this is pretty full, so I'm going to have to put some of this in a container, because I don't think it's going to hold what's up in our filter over here. So, let me dump this right quick, and then we'll come back. Now, these things are always a pain in the ass, so giant channel locks are going to be your friend, or any other tool you can fit up in there to get that thing off. So, I'm going to stick to giant channel locks. That usually works for me. At least it does on my P71. Of course, the P71 doesn't actually have the steering rack in the way. It has a center drag link, pitman arm, and idler arm. So we'll have to overcome that. We may have to use one of the other tools I have in the basement, but we shall see which one works best. Alright, and this is the tool I ended up using, that adapter. That fits the big one because there's just enough space to kind of sort of loosen it. But put a piece of cardboard down to let that fall onto it, and then I have another container because that 7-quart container is kind of full. I almost wonder if this thing doesn't hold 6 quarts or so. So, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to have to move you out of the way so we don't make a mess. Because once I loosen this, it's just going to run all over the place and down into here. But you'll see that, or some of it anyway, from where you're at. Explains why the steering rack's so greasy. I was thinking to myself, I go, man, this steering rack's greasy. This thing loose. You know, like leak a bunch of fluid. No, I think it's just every time you change the oil runs down all over the steering rack. But what you gonna do? Well, if you wanted to know, this Pronto is part number Paul 04651. Okay, boys, and this is the Wix filter we'll be replacing. 51372. We need to take our new engine oil, which in this case is going to be at 1030, and lube up the O-ring a little. We have already cleaned off the mating surfaces underneath. Shiny. So we'll be going up there and putting that in, since of course it does go in sideways. I cannot fill it up like I normally do my other ones on the Corvette Camaro, or even BMW for that matter. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll do my best to hand tighten her in, but I might actually need to reuse that tool to go just a little bit extra oomph if I can't get my hands up in there to properly torque. Okay, boys, oil filter's back in. Torqued with a tool for once, even though I don't ever advise doing that, but you know, I can't get enough torque with my bare hands, and I'd rather it not leak. So 15 foot-pounds, which is also 180 inch-pounds. Alright, and that's it. We don't need to go anymore. Should be tight enough, as that does come with an O-ring, and it was intact. So let's go up top and fill her back up. Okay, boys, now we're back up top. Dump the whole 5 quarts in, and then we will check the level. And what I was thinking below is, maybe it takes 5 quarts if you have the traditional Motorcraft or smaller filter, but maybe with these gigantic filters, it actually takes another half to a full quart, maybe around 6, because I'd have to go rewatch my P71 video. I'm fairly certain that's what happened. The owner's manual called for 5, but it ended up taking 5.5 or 6 because of that large filter. Or at least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'll let you boys know here in a sec. Okay, boys, we got 5.5 quarts in. We check our little stick. How well you can see, but at 5.5, we're definitely between the lines, about 75% of the way up. And this car is actually fairly level. May not look like it because the front, several inches off the ground, but this slopes down. So we're actually pretty level, and therefore I think we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and start her up, check for leaks, check the level again, and if it's fine, we'll leave it, and we'll add as necessary. But all in all, that's it, boys. The only thing we need to do now is reset the oil life monitor. Keys in the on position. Aha! Oil life 100%. I actually double pressed it, so it looks like that's what you have to do. Double mashing it's actually how we fix that, I think. We'll be good now, boys. Okay, with the oil life set to 100, we're going to go ahead and start it, and then check for leaks. Okay, engine's running. Air suspension light's on because I have the switch turned off. Oil life's still at 100. Do we have leaks? Anything coming out of the oil filter. Doesn't look like anything coming out of the drain plug. Go ahead and shut it off right quick. Check the big stick reading one last time, and then we'll call that a success. Okay, boys, Beast just moved back to level ground. I actually started it and moved it, and it's now sat for a few minutes, so final check. The dipstick, and the survey says level's still about the same. We're still between the lines in the crosshatch spot. So 6 quarts will do you fine, but I do believe with that giant filter, 6.5 is what it actually, if you want it to be exactly maximum capacity. So there you have it, boys. That is how we replace the oil change procedure and oil life monitor reset on our 2003 and up Lincoln Town & Car and other Panther platforms, and it differs only slightly from our 2002 and older ones that have the center drag link as opposed to the rack and pinion. So, alright, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helps. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.